Obviously game week. Guys are excited. You got to try to control some emotions. Keep focused. It's been a while since we've played. We didn't scrimmage last week like we originally planned, but so we kind of went a week or two without playing. So the guys just getting geared up for that and trying to maintain focus till Friday. Is kind of where our focus is at. But I thought we've had a couple good days of practice. Hopefully we can have two more and then carry some momentum into Friday down in Otero. Our team, I think we're going to play very hard. I think we understand that's going to be our identity. That's going to give us our best chance at success in this league, and even in our non-conference schedule. You know, we're going to have to compete. We're going to have to fly around. We're going to have to do the little things and just try and be tougher than the other team. We're not the biggest out there. We're not going to be the fastest. We're not going to be the strongest. But I think collectively as a group, we have some pieces that kind of gel well together and allows us to play the way we want to play. So I think my comfortability comes from preparation. I think I was prepared for this moment by former coaches, former coworkers that I was able to have conversations with and things like that leading up after I got this job for me preparing to be here for my first year. So I think just, hats off to all those people who's helped me with that. But I think ever since I've been on campus, just the support I've gotten around the community has made my transition a lot easier. I think everyone's welcoming us with open arms, and they're excited for Saints basketball to get rolling again, and we're excited for the challenge. I think it's a great job here. We have everything we need to be successful. I think it's just about attacking each and every day and embracing the good with the bad, and then just see what the results bring. So. When I first took the job, I had some conversations with a couple of the guys, and Quincy Kid was one that really stuck out to me. Just his maturity, his eye contact when we were talking, just his understanding of, he's messed up in the past. He's had some years that he probably wish he could have got back, but I think he's flipped those pages. And so just the maturity standpoint for that kid was very eye-opening to me, especially with trying to build, a new culture and get guys acclimated to what I like and what we're going to be about in our program. So I thought he was a great one to keep around. Obviously, a kid that knows the place. Professors love him. I was talking with teachers and faculty around before, we kind of decided to keep him, and everyone had good things to say. And so that was big time for us. And then obviously he's a heck of a basketball player. The kid can really shoot the lights out of the ball. And so. That's just what we're most excited for. I think he's going to add a lot of value to our team with his ability to shoot and stretch the floor a little bit. And so that's where we wanted to keep Quincy. Yeah, the newcomers, we have some that came from my previous school. We got a couple guards. We got a post player that traveled over with me from Barton. We also have an NAIA transfer that's played in a really good league that'll help us a bit. And then I just think, overall, we try to bring in guys that fit what we do. And so just regardless of where they came from, what they did in their previous seasons, whether if they played a lot, didn't play a lot, we're focused on now. And we're focused on what we're trying to do this upcoming season. So we really like our group that we have and our 13 guys that we're playing. And then obviously the other guys that decided to redshirt, I think it was a decision, for them that was best for them, and then also was best for our program. We're really excited about those guys. We're going to continue to develop them and push these guys in practice to have them ready on game day. So we love our group. We think everyone's bought into, what we need them to do on and off the court to be successful, and then so we're just excited to see where the season goes. I think the first thing, no matter what style you want to do as a coach, you have to be prepared, and you have to be tough in our league. Not only in our league, just when we play non-conference as well, but every night's going to be a dogfight. You're going to have teams that are pressing you. You're going to have teams that run zones. You're going to have teams that are just half-court man-to-man, fundamentally sound. So you're going to see all different styles of basketball all the time. So I think the more we just focus on us, taking care of the ball, trying to win 50-50 balls, win the boards, those little things like that, I think, create our recipe with the other stuff as far as X's and O's when it comes to offensive sets and stuff like that. So I think for us, our biggest thing is just sitting down and guarding. I think that's going to be our number one, strong suit. That's going to be what we have to take pride in this season. If we do not take pride in that, then we will not win very many games. So if our guys are bought in on the defensive end, we believe that that'll help us get out in transition, get some easy points, take some uncontested shots, and play fast and free like, college kids want to do. So we'll have some structure. We'll have some, guys will know what they're supposed to do, what we expect of them, what we don't expect of them. So with that being said, I just think as long as we focus on us and defend, I think we'll put ourselves in a good position to win some games. I think our schedule prepares us for conference play. I think, we go down to Otero this upcoming weekend. We're going to play two really good teams there. Otero's got a new coach, but he's coached at the Division II level the past couple years, and so he has some experience. And I know some guys, he'll bring some guys with him. And then we got Trinidad State, who has won their region the last 4 years and has been to the national tournament. So they obviously have some experience of playing at a high level, playing some big-time basketball and winning championships. So I think that's a good test for our first two. And then, after that, we host Friends in our home opener, which I think will be a game where we can take things that we learned from these first two games and then prepare us also for the Frank Phillips game that comes up after that Friends game. So we will use that game, prepare like any other game. We'll show up ready to go and prepare us to bring the Plainsmen into town when Frank Phillips comes in on the 11th, I believe, of November. So, which is a really good team. We got to see them playing some jamborees. Jay Bradley does a great job. He actually recruited a couple of my former players and Coach Combs over at Barton, to SIUE. So it's a connection me and him have, and that's how we got that game scheduled. And so I think that'll be a good test for us going up against a coach that has been at the Division I level, won a conference title there as an assistant. And so I think that's a good test for us on our home floor. And then after that, we obviously go down to Hobbs, and we'll travel with the women and play in the New Mexico Junior College Classic up there, which we'll play really two good teams again. We'll play New Mexico Military Institute first night, who's always tough, physical, strong. And then the very next night, we get a shot at New Mexico Junior College, which I personally think they will be in the top 25 by that time. They are receiving votes as of now, but, I didn't see a lot of teams playing as well that they did in the Jamboree, so we're really looking forward to that one as well to see where we're at as a group. And then, obviously that leads us into conference play where we go and we'll go to Cloud County, and which they're very good this year as well. They got some big returning guys, and so I just think our 6 non-conference games should prepare us for that first conference game down in Concordia. I tell people all the time that I remember when we played here back in, I believe it was 2018. And the greenhouse had a lot of fans in there, a lot of people screaming at us when we were inbounding the ball on the sideline. So that's one thing I'm most excited about, is trying to get it back to that, creating that home court advantage to where when people travel and they make the long drive to Liberal, they're like, oh, we got to play in the greenhouse, because we have that feel when we go on the road. You go to the sports arena, you go to the Kirkman down in Great Bend, you go to Pratt, the Beaver Dome, and there's others as well. And so you go to those places, and it's just a certain feel, it's a certain amount of respect for each and every one of the programs in the conference. So we just hope that we can become one of those schools on that list as well. We want to make this a tough place to play, and I think that starts with putting a product on the floor that people want to see play. So if we're not going to play hard, if we're not going to defend, then no one's going to come out in the cold weather and watch you play. But if you're going to play the right way, you're going to be proud to wear Seward and across your chest, or Saints across your chest, and I think that's what draws the fans in. And so that's our goal. But obviously, we want to focus on us first. Obviously the outside stuff helps and everything like that, but we have to be as a group first before we can worry about drawing other people in. So hopefully we handle our business, and hopefully that brings people into the greenhouse.